Hello, everybody, and you're all very welcome back to the channel. So today I'm working on a Combilift C4000. So anyone who's not familiar with Combilift is a multi-directional forklift that is built in the Republic of Ireland, in Monaghan, the Republic of Ireland, and they are ideal for moving long lengths of timber, long lengths of steel, awkward loads, because this forklift can travel forwards, backwards, and sidewards. So drive down into an alleyway, pick off its stack, load it down onto its carriage, drive sideways. So it's ideal for tight spaces. And as I said, lifting long loads out through narrow doors. And yeah, as I said, built in the Republic of Ireland by Combilift. So loads of different types. This one we're working on is a C4000 with a Kubota 2.4. So it's a V2403 engine. So it's a 2.4 Series 3 engine, turbocharged. So the complaint with this was it was leaking hydraulic oil. So I went out to have a look at it, and lo and behold, it wasn't hydraulic oil. It was actually coolant leaking from the internal heater rod. So the internal heater rod was leaking coolant. So after a few pressure checks, a few tests, head gasket was gone. It was bubbling badly, throwing water out the radiator, building up a serious amount of pressure. So it was time for a strip down. So yeah, customer wanted this machine turned around as quick as possible. So started stripping a few bits off. Started with the exhaust, the air box, air filter, a few panels and that off around the side before we could get down into get the covers off. So the engine covers came next. Two big covers out the top come next. 4-bolt, hold them on, lift them off, disconnect the wiring, of course, for the lights, a few bits and pieces underneath. Take off the hinges for the front cover. Um, yeah, heavy old unit. So get them off, and then we're down into the engine. So we'll start taking off a few of the intake pipes. So the intake pipe for the turbocharger, breather pipes, a few little bits and pieces like that. Dirty, dusty engine. This machine is working indoors all the time, pretty much, in a builder's yard. So yeah, off with a few more bits and pieces, air filter housings, intake pipes, start cleaning down a few bits and pieces, getting a bit of dirt and dust and that blown off the top of the engine. So yeah, injector pipes come next. Take off the fuel pipes off the fuel pump. Take them off, of course, blank off all the hoses as you go along, all the open pipes to prevent any contamination down into the injector pump. So they would be all blanked off. Inlet manifold is one of the next things that comes off. So very, very simple, simple machine to strip. A few bolts takes off the inlet manifold, and a few pipes and that around that. What comes next then? Turbo and exhaust manifold all come off as one. So I think there was 8 or 10 bolts or nuts. Take them off. The whole lot slides off. Of course, take off the oil feed pipe, the oil return pipe, the exhaust manifold itself, the exhaust pipe, tailpipe. Cover everything off. Then, of course, blank off the tops of the injectors. Didn't have the proper cover, so a little bit of cling film that I have in the van. I wrap stuff with cling film, cable tie over the top. It does perfect. Keep the dust and dirt out. Alternator comes next, so take off the alternator, a few water pipes, the water pipe feeding the heater hose. Take it off, take off the fan belt, take off a couple of brackets, the alternator housing bracket, a few bits and pieces like that. What comes next then? Rocker cover. So off with the rocker cover. It's the first chance we get to see inside the engine, and it is clean inside. Has been well serviced, well maintained. Nothing obviously wrong inside. Of course, this is a simple, straightforward job. Rocker cover off. Next thing to do then, of course, would be to obviously take off the rocker cover, or the rocker shaft itself. So there's only 4 bolts holding down the rocker shaft. Take them off. It's handy having the van right beside you, so there's plenty of space to work on this. So the van is right beside me. The toolbox is there. Very, very easy to work on because the engine is just about working height. It's nearly at tabletop height, so it's perfect for working on. nice and close, so I could just turn around, get all the bits and pieces I needed out of the van. It was a very, very simple and straightforward operation. It's good when you have this because it's not always possible. Yeah, exhaust manifold, studs, some extra long studs in it, so you got the usual old trick. Two nuts on, lock the two nuts together, nice and tight, and you can screw them out then. So these ones are they're extra long, so they had to come out of the way because when it goes for pressure testing, they would get damaged. So yeah, they were tightened, they were kind of seized into it, but lock two nuts together. It's a good tip if you're not used to it, and yeah, they will come out pretty easily. So off next comes the obviously the rock cover shaft is off, and the valve caps. So the valve caps sit on top of the valve itself, and the rocker arm would sit on the valve cap. So they're off. So then next we have the head studs out. We have the head off. So we're looking at for some cracks, some damage to the head, a few scorch marks, a few marks around the fire ring itself. The fire ring would sit, and you can obviously see there. So I think we're looking at cylinder number 2 here, how clean it is compared to the other cylinders. So this cylinder would have been getting quite a bit of water in on top of it. Yes, it's always good to see something like that when you take a head off and you can actually see what the problem is and where the problem was, that you've actually found it, that you're not guessing and maybe it was something else. Yeah, so it's always good to see it. So I'll be looking then for similar marks on the head gasket itself. So there you can see the fire ring on cylinder number 2 on the head gasket has breached. You can see the scorch marks on it, you can see the burn marks on it where it had been leaking coolant across from the cylinder right through. So there's the head off. The head is off now, and it's wrapped up in cling film, ready to be sent off to be skimmed and pressure tested in the local engineering shop that does all our work for us. Obviously, give the block then a good clean down, a good sand down, uh, blanking off every hole that's possible to stop into the oil, stop any dust or dirt getting in. And there is our two radiators. We've one new internal radiator, we've one old one, and that was the cause. So it was the internal heater radiator that had burst. The drivers thought it was an oil leak, but they kept driving until it ran out of oil. So here we are back 2 days later. The head is skimmed, it's pressure tested, everything is back to spec. Checked out okay, no cracks, no damage in the head, just a little warp. So there's a couple of thousandths of an inch taken off the cylinder head, and she is ready for installation. So yeah, all new head bolts, a new set of head bolts. So I'd be fussy enough on things like that. I would change everything that is recommended to change. I wouldn't be leaving anything to chance. So new head bolts, head is on now. Head bolts are down, ready for torquing. There's a little bit of a procedure to this. It's nothing too extravagant compared to some machines. So start in the middle, basically work your way out. And I think it was, if you can read that, I think it was from memory 98 Newton meters. And then working around in a clockwise pattern. Obviously, new thermostat is going into it as well. New thermostat gasket onto the housing. The old thermostat actually was stuck open on it. New radiator cap as well. These Kubota engines, famous for damaging the radiator caps. So that one, you can see the rubber seals are burst on that there. New radiator cap. Thermostat housing gasket going on to the cylinder head. That is new as well. Obviously, I would replace all gaskets on the cylinder head, all gaskets, all manifold gaskets, inlet, exhaust, everything would be changed to be nothing left to chance. New injectors, and well, not new, but reconditioned injectors, new injector seals, obviously new copper washers, and new copper washers for the leak off rail, so for the return line on the injectors as well. So they, of course, are all being replaced. It's a steel return pipe. So new seals down into the cylinder head for the injectors. Give the cylinder, obviously the cylinder head has to get a good clean out, and I would recut the seat for the injectors before putting the washers down. So there's the washers in position with the seat recut on it with a special tool. So I'd always give them a good cut, and new washers in. So there's the injectors on, and the injector return line washers with little holes in them, so that any return comes up past those holes into the line and is bled off back to the tank. So if you can make that out there, so they are now all in position, all capped off, just to prevent any dirt from getting in before the fuel pipes themselves are screwed back down onto the injectors. So yeah, we're moving on here now. We're putting on the push rods. Push rods are in, getting ready for the reinstallation of the rocker shaft. So push rods are in and the caps are on. So this comes next. So anyone that knows anything about engines will know what these three tools here mean. So yes, of course, one of the most important things to perform on rebuild is setting the tappets. So yeah, I think the setting on this was 0.22 millimeter on both inlet and exhaust tappets when the engine is cold. And no, there was no specifications for doing them when they were hot or rechecking them. So yeah, done them all when they were cold, turn the engine over and check it again. So we're on to the reinstallation of the exhaust manifold and the turbo itself. So obviously again, new gaskets, fully cleaned off, everything cleaned, new gaskets, new washers then on the turbo oil feed line. There's a new copper washer going on there. And that's the turbo feed, and the return line cleaned and checked, turbo and manifold back on, torqued up, bolted up, pipes reinstalled and torqued to spec. So starting to look like a proper engine again. We're getting there. So the inlet manifold is back on, the pipes are back on for the injectors. From the injector, it's injector pump, inline injector pump onto the injectors, all put back on and tightened. So except the one, I would leave one open, getting ready for bleeding out the system. So what I would do is I'd switch on the ignition, and there is an electric lift pump on these, so it would bleed up to the pump, little bleed screw on the pump, let the air out, and then I would leave one open on one of the injectors. So when I would start to crank the engine, I would crank it over, get the air out, wait for a little bit of fuel to come out there, lock that back up, and she will fire straight away, no problem. Obviously, all the oil was changed, new coolant put in, everything bled out, fuel system bled out, coolant system bled out, and I would be bleeding out the coolant system from the heater hose that goes into the internal heater radiator, so that's just above the alternator, that fitting that goes on to the thermostat housing. So yeah, we're getting ready for the key now. So we're going to jump in and we're going to turn it over. So that's it. Happy days. A few of the covers back on. Take it outside. Leave it running for a good half an hour. Check it for leaks. Take a pressure test. Recheck everything. Work the machine. Get it up to temperature. Recheck all the levels, and all is good. And that's a good job. I'm delighted with that. So thanks a million everyone for watching. If you like this content, please share it, please like it. If you'd like to see more videos like this, please drop a comment. If you have any history with Combilift, if you have any history driving these machines, forklifts in general, if you want to see anything more about them, please don't be afraid to ask, because I will help out. So that's it. Until next week, everybody. Thanks for watching.